When the internet began, bulletin board services, or BBS, became the first online communities of the so-called information superhighway. Using their phone lines, people logged in from all over America to talk about sports, games, movies, and on one BBS in particular, share their ghost stories. Over time, those communities all went dark, except for one lone server that continues to operate somewhere in an unknown part of Pennsylvania's Rust Belt. A relic of the 1990s, veiled in mystery, it is a digital archive of humanity's strangest encounters with the unknown, as told by the people who experienced them. My name is Brandon Schexnayder, and you are listening to Fear Daily.
Subject: Bitten. User: Joe1GR33R. Posted April 30th, 1998.
I ain't been right since that night out in the Rose. It's been what, 3 days, 4? I can't keep track anymore. Everything's running together like old grease in the rain. Oil swirling with pieces of things I'm trying real hard not to remember. That thing, what it did and what is happening to me now, it's overwhelming. You see, I never went to the hospital after the encounter. What was I supposed to say? That I got mauled by something that looked like it crawled out of hell? They'd lock me up, or worse, say I did it to myself. So I went home, wrapped my arms in bandages, poured some liquor on it, took a swig or two, and tried to pass out in the old armchair with the dog barking his damn head off at the back door all night long. Next morning, when I finally got to survey it all in the light, it was pretty fucking clear. The wound's gone sour, and ever since, it's been smelling more and more and more like rot. Sweet and sharp, like a dead possum left too long in the heat. But it ain't just that. The flesh around it's changed. Not wounded, but shifted. Gray and tight, stretched like old fruit leather. The veins are turning black, spidering out under the skin like something growing, and I swear to God, it's moving. Not a twitch, not a tremor. No, nothing natural, nothing you'd expect from nerves. It is moving. Like something underneath is shifting, bulging, pulsing in time with an awful, high-pitched clicking that's been in my head since it bit me. It ain't gone away. No, it's louder now, gradually getting more intense every minute and every second since I fled that place. Sometimes it gets so loud, I have to shove a pillow over my ears and scream just to drown it out. Other times it's soft, almost gentle, like it's whispering, calling. I haven't left the house since I got here either. I can't really. I shouldn't, not like this. I caught a glimpse of myself in the mirror yesterday morning and I damn near threw up. My eyes, they don't look like mine no more. The whites are going yellow, the pupils too big, and the skin around them's getting dark, bruised and sunken like I ain't slept in weeks, yet I have. I have somehow been able to. It just ain't like any other sleep I've ever had. It's more like I'm leaving this reality and entering another. I dream, if you can call it that, about the field. Every night, same damn dream. I'm standing at the edge of the Rose, barefoot in the mud, and I can feel the earth breathing beneath me again, warm and wet and hungry, pulsing. Then I hear it, that sound, the clicking. And it ain't coming from one place, it's all around me, like the stalks themselves are chittering. I turn, trying to find the thing, and then I see the others. More of them, dozens, hundreds maybe. Tall, thin, pale things slinking beneath the rows, jaws hanging loose, claws dragging in the dirt, and they're all looking at me, not with eyes, but with something else. Like they feel me there, smell me, know me. Every single one of them is calling. Not with that scream it made the night it tried to kill me. No, this is different. Lower, almost sad, like mourning doves or crying babies or something older, deeper, like family. I wake up drenched in sweat, stomach twisted, mouth dry as sand, and changes. More changes. My fingernails are dark now, thick and curved like claws. My back itches constantly, and I can't reach it no matter how hard I try. Last night, I stripped off my shirt and found new ridges under my shoulder blades, bones or something else pushing outward. The fever comes in waves. I'll be fine one minute, then sweating bullets and shaking like I've got a fever the next. Chills so bad my teeth chatter. I tried to eat yesterday and couldn't keep it down. I'm losing myself, and I know it, but the worst part, deep down, part of me wants it. The pull's getting stronger. I stood on my porch this morning and just stared down the road that leads out to the property. My feet started moving before I realized what I was doing. I got halfway to the truck before I stopped. It wants me to go back to the cornfield, the place it all started. I hear the clicking even now, sitting here in the living room with the curtains drawn and every damn light off because the brightness hurts my eyes. It's steady, like a woodpecker tapping inside my skull. Not angry, not anymore. Welcoming. I think I understand what it's saying. You're one of us now. Keep thinking about the bite, that hot flash of pain when its teeth sank in, the way it looked at me afterward as I fled. It wasn't looking at me like I was prey, not even like an enemy. No, it looked at me like it had passed something on and knew I would be back. I don't really want to, but I feel the pull, and I don't think I can stop it. Last night, I got the bright idea to dig into my arm with a utility knife, just to try and get whatever's in there out. Maybe that would fix it. Maybe that would stop the destruction being wrought on my body. Well, I didn't feel a damn thing. Just blood. But it wasn't like my blood has ever looked. It was black and slow, like sludge, dripping out onto my arm and onto the floor, emitting a smell like copper and mold. I passed out right there in a puddle of it and woke up with dirt under my nails. But I haven't been outside, so where the hell did the dirt come from? I'm scared, but not like I should be. The fear's changing. It's not panic anymore. It's more like dread mixed with anticipation. Like the kind of nervous you get before a big game or a funeral. Something's coming. Something final. I think I've got hours, maybe less. I can feel my joints locking as if my bones are reshaping, knees are aching in ways they shouldn't. My spine creaks every time I move. I tried to scream earlier and nothing came out. Just that same sound, that awful clicking call. The dog ran away this morning, and honestly, I don't blame him. He barked and growled at me until I looked at him, and God help me, I growled back. If he sees my humanity disappearing, then I can only imagine that I don't have much time left. I'm changing, and I know it, and if you're reading this, please don't come looking. Stay away from those damn cornfields because that's where I'll be, and I know for sure that I ain't gonna be alone.
Subject, the Gray Man. User, Anani8th. Posted, May 8th, 1996.
Do you ever watch The City? I mean, really watch The City? It's like a huge watch full of hundreds, even thousands of interlocking systems that keep the entire mechanism running. Loops upon loops upon loops at a scale that is almost impossible to comprehend. To most people, it looks like chaos, but if you sit there looking at it long enough, like I have these last few weeks, you recognize that everything moves according to a rhythm, and if something is out of rhythm, you notice. A month and a half ago, I fell down the stairs of my apartment building. It was the dumbest thing in the world and could have happened to anybody, or at the very least, it could have happened to anybody with neighbors who let their animals roam around the building without any kind of supervision. In my case, I did a triple gainer over top of a ginger tomcat and ended up with a spiral comminuted fracture of my right tibia. For the last couple weeks, all I've been able to do is sit in my apartment and do my best Jimmy Stewart impression as I stare out my living room window for large portions of the day. It's reached a point where I know the garbage pickup guys on site and know their shift rotation. I know at least two of my neighbors across the street are having affairs, the tall blonde woman in the far right of the second floor and a heavyset guy who lives in the middle of the third floor. The heavyset guy is punching above his weight because the women who come over are way, way better looking than he is, at least from a distance. I also know which delivery guys belong to which takeout places and how often people order from them. What I don't know is who the hell the guys in the gray coveralls are. At first, I thought they were municipal guys or Con Ed because they had blocked off part of the street with road cones and were clustered around an electrical junction box on Church. I watched them work, and that's when I felt the first tingle of unease. My father was a marine electrician who really thought it was going to become a family business and tried early on to interest me in his trade. It didn't take, obviously, but I learned enough to know that whatever the men in the gray coveralls are doing isn't electrical work, but is close enough to fool anyone who isn't paying attention. And no one was. I watched them work for hours, and not a single cop or nosy passerby so much as looked twice. The next time they came back was a week later. I wheeled over to the window around 9 a.m. and they had already blocked off a portion of the road surrounding a manhole cover with what looked like twin-head floodlights. Why they needed light in the middle of the day is beyond me, but no one else seemed to think twice. The gray men never actually approached the manhole. They just spent the entire day tweaking the lights and writing on clipboards. I don't even know what there is on a floodlight to tweak, but from the way they were fiddling with those things, you'd think they were highly delicate scientific instruments. I nodded off around 3 p.m., and when I woke up, they were gone. The whole thing left me with this deep feeling of unease, but I tried to shake it off. The following day, I'd asked my sister Tina, who was doing my grocery runs, to bring me a pair of cheap Radio Shack binoculars the next time she came by. The request brought me a raised eyebrow, but no further questions, and I was soon the proud owner of an unbranded 10 by 50 set of glass that worked surprisingly well for the price. It might sound crazy, but the next time the men appeared, I think they somehow sensed the binoculars, and that's how they knew I was watching. It was a Thursday morning, and by the time I woke up, they'd already taped off the subway entrance and were doing their whole milling around with clipboards thing, stopping every now and then to confer with one another. One of them wandered close enough to my side of the street for me, with an assist from the binoculars, to get a look at what they were writing. I only saw it for a split second, but it looked, it wasn't English, that much I could say for sure, and it wasn't Mandarin or Cantonese, though someone would likely make that assumption if they didn't know better. It looked vaguely Asian, is all I can say, except it wasn't any of the Asian languages I know, and in my work, I'm required to have passing knowledge of Japanese, Tagalog, and a few others. It didn't just look non-English, though. It looked wrong. Have you ever dreamed about meeting a friend or family member who's died and had that momentary feeling of transgression, like something is happening that shouldn't be? That's how that writing looked. Hell, how it felt. And as I was trying to process that feeling, the man holding the clipboard stiffened. A second later, he wheeled and looked right at me. Then, as if they were some kind of hive mind, all the other workers did the same. My insides turned to ice, and I dropped the binoculars, shattering them on the hardwood floor. The men continued to look, and I was suddenly 8 years old again, caught spying on my neighbor, Mrs. Nathan. I pushed my wheelchair away from the window and sat there in the middle of the living room, my heart pounding. I stayed there so long, I lost track of time. All I know for sure is that by the time Tina came to check in on me, the shadows had begun to lengthen. She asked me what happened, but I demurred, trying to play the broken lenses off as a result of clumsy fingers, but I don't think she believed me, especially after I tried to casually ask her if the city crew still had the subway entrance blocked off. She looked at me in that way she does when she thinks I'm trying to mess with her, her head cocked to one side. She always looks like Mom when she does that. Tina said the street had been clear on her way up and that the subway looked normal. I nodded and cleared my throat, then wheeled back over to the window. Sure enough, everyone was gone. But are they coming back? And what do they want?
Fear Daily is an independent podcast hosted by Brandon Schexnayder and written by Brennan Storr, with Joanna Smith serving as the consulting editor, audio production by Rachel Boyd, and sound design by Southern Gothic Media. This podcast is a work of fiction. Names, characters, places, and incidents are either products of the author's imagination or are used fictitiously. Any resemblance to actual persons, living or dead, or to real events or locations, is entirely coincidental. Ad-free versions of Fear Daily are available now on your favorite podcast apps. For more information, visit feardaily.com. But move fast, before the server goes offline.